Hey. I know that this is a weird time of day, but I'm kind of having to make things happen while I can make them happen. It's been a very, very eventful day, and I do have a lot of things going on, but I wanted to go live really quickly because there has been some information about Jana Dreyzehner and exactly what her role is at Ballad Health. And, Mark Vance had posted the screenshot of her information from the Ballad Health website. And then she contacted him, and he put up a different post to clarify. And you know me, I like to do a little bit of digging and see what information I can find out. So I'm going to give you guys just a second to get on in here, and then I'm going to give you what I was able to find out directly from them. And I'm going to even give you the telephone numbers that I called today and the folks that I talked to, and just kind of let you all know what the real deal is. For those of you guys who sent me the information, I did see Alan's little interview today, and his, getting all choked up and what have you. And, it is what it is. Most people cry for a lot of different reasons. If my multi-million-dollar scheme was about to be exposed, I might shed a few tears too myself. But, that's just my take on it. Call it whatever you like. It might move you. It didn't move me at all. Hey, what's up, Chris? Hey, Christy. Hey, Chris. How is everybody? That was two Chris's. I didn't repeat myself, just so y'all know. So now that I've given it just a second for folks to get in here, let me just go ahead and tell you the deal. If you call 276-926-0328, that telephone number is the telephone number that is listed on the Ballad Health website for Dr. Jana Dreyzehner, who is listed as a medical director in psychiatry for Dickinson County Hospital. Now, here's the interesting thing. To give you a little background, in case you don't know this, John Dreyzehner, her husband, is the Tennessee State Department of Health Commissioner. So that means he is the gentleman who decides if Ballad Health gets a COPA. He is over the actual oversight of the COPA, the monitoring of the COPA. This is the guy that gets to decide, do Mountain State Health Alliance and Wellmont get to merge together and become Ballad Health? And obviously he said yes, because we now have a medical monopoly as a result. Now, I believe with every fiber of my being, and I believe that any judge or attorney or ethics supervisor in the state or in the country would agree with me, that it is a direct conflict of interest for his wife to be a paid either direct or contracted employee for Ballad Health, and then him be responsible for determining if that hospital gets to exist as a merger. So you can best believe that there are phone calls happening to the Tennessee Ethics Office, as well as the Joint Commission. That's happening relentlessly, and it will continue to happen. But if you call that telephone number, folks, you're going to get a voicemail for somebody named Shirley, who's in administration for Dickinson County Hospital. So me being who I am, I just hung up, and I decided I would call the hospital directly, because obviously if I call a hospital directly, the person answering the phone at the switchboard should be able to know who's a doctor and who works there and who doesn't. You would think so anyway, right? Now, if you're commenting, I can't see any comments. I can only see people who are joining. So if you're commenting, I'm not seeing it. So just rock with it and don't worry about it. I'll come back and try to answer stuff later. Sometimes Facebook does that. But let me just tell you the deal. So when I called back, here's the number that I called the second time. I called 276-926-0300. I didn't push any buttons. I just held on the phone and I waited for an operator to answer. When the operator answered, I said, I would like to speak to Dr. Jana Dreyzehner. The woman who answered the phone said, we don't have a doctor here by that name. I'm sorry, what? She said, no, we don't have a doctor here by that name. And I said, well, when I call this other number, I got the voicemail from somebody named Shirley, who's supposed to be in administration. And she said, oh, well, let me go ahead and transfer you to Shirley in administration. I said, great. So she transferred me to Shirley in administration. And when Shirley answered the phone, I said, I'd like to speak to Dr. Jana Dreyzehner. And she said, well, she does work here, but she's not at this number. Let me give you another number to reach her. And so she gave me 844-800-2735. And I said, now, Shirley, I'm a little confused, because you just said that she works there, but the lady that answered the phone, the operator, said she doesn't work there. So does Dr. Dreyzehner work there, or does she not? Because I'm confused. you all don't seem to know if she works there or not. And so she kind of started around a little bit, and she said, well, you know, she's not physically here. That number that I gave you, that's the number for her office. And I said, well, I'm confused because you just told me that she works there. So does she work there? Does she not work there? I don't really understand, Shirley. I need you to explain it to me. And Shirley got a little like flabbergasted, and she said, why don't I just transfer you to, and she gave me IOG. That's what she said. And I didn't know what that was, but before I could even ask her what it was, she transferred me. Shirley was a little flustered, folks. So then I got transferred to the Senior Life Outpatient Geriatric Psychiatry Department. That's where I got transferred to. And the lady that I talked to, she said Dr. Dreyzehner does work there, but not actually physically there. She is this lady's medical director. And I said, oh, so she does work for the hospital. And she said, well, she is my medical director, but that's the number where you would reach her. And I said, well, I'm confused. How is she your medical director? Do you work for the hospital? And she said, well, we work within the hospital. And I said, but are you part of the hospital? She said, yes. And I said, so you work for Ballad Health? And she said, yes. And I said, and Jana Dreyzehner is your medical director? And she said, yes. And I said, well, then doesn't she have to also work for Ballad Health? I'm confused. And she said, well, she is contracted. I said, oh, so maybe this is the best way to say it. So let me make sure I understand. Jana Dreyzehner is a contracted employee for Ballad Health. So she's not a full regular employee. And as a contracted employee, she is your medical director, your boss. And she said, yes. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you call 844-800-2735, that is the telephone number for Starfish Health. Do y'all remember that name? Because I gave you that name about 2 days ago. Starfish Health, LLC, is Jana Dreyzehner's personal company that she established in 2014. And she has a contract with Ballad Health for telehealth services. So when Jana Dreyzehner picked up the phone the other day and she called Mark Vance and said, I don't work for Ballad Health, I'm going to say to her the same thing that I said to Alan Levine: liar, liar, pants on freaking fire. That's who's giving you a damn check. And stop lying to people. People deserve to know who you work for, where your money's coming from, and that there is a conflict of interest. You are the Tennessee State Department Health Commissioner's wife, lady. You're his wife, and you have a contract with a company that in order for them to exist needed to get a merger approved and get a COPA approved, and your husband is the person who approved it. You guys are scratching each other's backs, filling each other's pockets, and you are deceiving and lying to the public in this community. Nobody's here to play semantics with you. Nobody's here to kind of guess and just run around the mulberry bush. Damn it, a fact's a fact. You get a paycheck from Ballad Health. You have a contract with Ballad Health. Your husband has a conflict of interest, and he needs to be reported to the ethics committee, and I'm going to make sure that everybody I know who hears me does that. Now, that's all I got to say. I can't see comments, y'all. I can just see that you joined. Hey, Lori. Hey, Dwayne. Hey, everybody. And that's really all I got. I'm not going to be on here long right now. I don't feel well. I'm still sniffling and snuffling and all that good stuff. But anyway, so I just wanted to clear that up. So anybody who tells you that Jana Dreyzehner is not an employee of Ballad Health, you need to understand she's not a direct hired employee. She's a contracted employee. She gets paid by Ballad Health, and she is the commissioner's wife. It is a conflict of interest. They need to be standing in front of an ethics committee. That COPA needs to be freaking null and void and suspended or terminated or modified or whatever. And people need to stop getting on TV lying and crying about bullshit when they know they're lying. That's what needs to happen. So that's all I got. I hope y'all are having a great Friday. I'm having a really good Friday, even though I don't feel good. So let me know if y'all need anything. If you have information that you would like to send to me, just please inbox me on Facebook. I will give you my secure encrypted email address, and we will continue to go after the facts. We will continue to show people exactly what's happening around here, who's lining each other's pockets, who's lying to the general public, and who is absolutely taking advantage of the people of this community because they have a medical monopoly. that's what we will continue to do. And I'm not going anywhere. My voice is not going to get any quieter. And the people in this community are going to fight for their loved ones and their rights, and they can do that. I want to be clear about something that I said last night, because I've seen people reposting it. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it very clearly, because I love to be accurate about things. There were, in fact, 2 NICU deaths. Now, I want to be very, very clear about these NICU deaths. These were babies that the closest facility was Holston Valley Level 3 NICU. That's true. I am not saying that the reason these 2 babies expired is because they were transported to Johnson City Medical Center instead of Holston Valley. I cannot say that, and I am not saying that, and that's what I said last night. What I am saying is that it just makes logical sense to me that the greatest chance a baby has for survival is to get to the closest Level 3 facility, which would have been Holston Valley. I'm not saying that. I can't tell y'all what happened in terms of transport. I can't tell you what happened in terms of their medical care. What I can tell you is they did have to go further for treatment than they should have. And not as a result, but they expired. I don't know that the transport played that it was a contributing factor, and I don't know that it wasn't. I do know that they were transported further away than they had to be, because the State Department has not said that Holston Valley is closed. They have not said that that NICU is closed. So those babies could have, and you would think should have, gone to Holston Valley. I don't know. But that's what I want you guys to be careful. I want you all to be very careful when you repeat things, especially if you say, I said them. I want you to hear me, because I'm very clear when I say things. I am not saying that that transport is the reason those babies expired. I am saying that there's a question as to whether or not it played a role, because they were not transported to the closest facility. Got that? So I just wanted to clear that up to make sure everybody heard me and heard me clearly. I hope everybody now understands where Jana Dreyzehner works, who she works for, who pays her bills, and why her husband ought to be ashamed of himself for participating in this process, and why everybody needs to be calling the Ethics Commission along with everybody else. So I just wanted to give you that piece of information. I'm going to go take some medicine, drink me some tea, and continue to do life. So I'm out of here. Y'all know how I end this thing, right? Be amazing, be light, be love. Peace.